All right, thank you so very, very much, Mr. Chair, and still members of ECM. This next bill also, oh, and I'm sorry, I did neglect to mention that the bill that I just presented to you is cross-filed by one of our favorite senators, Senator Ben Brooks. The next one I am presenting to you, House Bill 645, for your consideration, offers a little bit of a different spin, another soft solution to what is a big problem and a hard problem. And it is sponsored by, cross-filed by Senator Karen Lewis Young, apologize, in the Senate. This bill has been heavily amended since I first saw it. MACO has worked with the Senate sponsor in order to put it into a certain form that they can get behind. So I am going to allow Dominic to explain that to you in more detail. So you need a little bit more than me too this time, if that's okay. But I can tell you the general idea is that if the transmission line cannot be placed on current transmission easements, then they can only put it within a quarter mile of the current transmission easement, according to this piece of legislation. So I am going to pass it over to Dominic from MACO.
Thank you, Delegate. Dom with MACO still. You explained that beautifully. The bill as drafted would require counties to go through an extensive comprehensive plan update for transmission lines. Currently, that is just beyond first the feasibility of counties to do that. Additionally, there's certain national security concerns. There's a lot of stuff that goes into transmission infrastructure that's just complicated. Working with our planners across all 24 jurisdictions, looking at the areas where we already know the impact of transmission, that quarter-mile corridor seems to be the most appropriate to focus additional development, and so that's what we're trying to do here as amended. And we urge a favorable report with amendments.
Thank you. Again, for the record, Joanne Frederick, here to urge a favorable report for House Bill 645. I think we've learned, certainly since July of last year, what we can't do is trust PJM to look out for our interests. And this bill allows us, from a county level and Maryland, to control our own fates and understand really what we have, how we should best deploy what we have, and how we can use those resources to the benefit of Maryland. And for that reason, I urge a favorable report.
Thank you.
Delegate Weibel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know you said the bill has been heavily amended. Does it still have the $386,000 fiscal note in year one?
I do not believe so, but I don't know that we have a new fiscal note for this. This is for the original. No, this is from the original.
Yeah, so I don't think we have a new fiscal
we don't
note,
have.
but there would be no fiscal impact on counties with this.
Okay, that was the impact on the Maryland Department of Planning.
Well, yes. So the answer would be no. There is no fiscal note now because we are not requiring the planning portion of the bill. We struck all of that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. The quarter-mile corridor that you spoke about, where did that come from?
So MACO worked over the interim with both the energy industry as well as the administration on solar and a number of energy issues, talking with all 24 of our planners and kind of consulting what's the best way we can make this work. That's what they advised, that half-mile corridor. That's where you have a lot of the environmental analysis done already. That's where you already have a lot of the impacts accounted for, physically, everything else. And so that seemed to be the most appropriate, again, talking with our technical folks.
But the energy stakeholders agree to that?
I'm not sure. We'd have to go back with that. That's just consulting with our internal planners.
Right.
I know some of the utilities that I've spoken with definitely like that idea. Others are still mulling it over, so it depends on who you speak to.
Yeah, I would definitely want to, who were those stakeholders, do you know?
We've definitely spoke to BG&E briefly on it, as well as PEPCO, and I can go back and get some more.
Please, yeah. I'd like to get their feedback on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Seeing no further questions, that concludes this bill hearing.